What's the point of this discussion? We did not go to the moon?
You're just digging your hole deeper every time you say that, General.
So I can't stop thinking about this video, and I know I'm probably not the only one in the space community that has reacted negatively if you guys have seen it. A few days ago, a nearly 4-hour podcast dropped featuring Apollo 16 astronaut Charlie Duke, one of the last 4 surviving moonwalkers. And what happened in that interview has sparked some outrage across the internet. But before I get into the controversy, I want to make something extremely clear. We don't have many Apollo moonwalkers left. Every single one of them is a living piece of human history. They deserve reverence, gratitude, and respect, especially when they give their time to share their stories. And what happened in this podcast? Well, it was the exact opposite. This podcast was hosted by Danny Jones, a popular YouTuber and podcaster who I was not familiar with until I saw this video, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep watching. Charlie Duke was invited on the show. And just like the many interviews he's done, he was probably expecting to talk about the Apollo program, his training, his time on the moon, the usual. Instead, what Charlie walked into was a full blindsiding debate with a hardcore moon landing denier, Bart Sibrel, someone who has made a career out of accusing astronauts of lying. Charlie had no idea. You can literally see the moment in the video where he realizes what's happening.
You're saying we never landed on the moon?
Well, no. What the question is?
You didn't know that before you got here?
No.
Charlie.
You're a really good actor.
I really didn't know that.
Did you ever win the Academy Award for Best Actor?
I really didn't know that you believe that we lied on 6 missions that landed on the moon.
Charlie, does it make sense to you?
That's right.
Why?
That's how arrogant the federal government is. Now, if I may have my 40 minutes to answer your question.
Hold on one second. I want to make sure this lands with him. Does it make sense why people would question that based on all of the other bullshit and lying that was going on that we know was actually all the other stuff that we know for a fact was deception?
To me, Apollo was real.
To you, but I'm saying
No, wait a minute. In the United States, there were 400,000 people working on Apollo.
Right.
Well, let me...
Just a minute. Let me finish.
You had 40 minutes already. I've only had 10.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Forgive me.
That's one of...
He sits there, polite, smiling, chuckling awkwardly, and Bart repeatedly unloads conspiracy after conspiracy, accusation after accusation, essentially calling Charlie a liar to his face. So a lot of people are saying that this podcast, trapping him essentially in a 4-hour ambush where he is expected to defend his life's work against someone who believes he's part of a decades-long hoax, was not only disrespectful, but even elder abuse. So to save you time, in case you don't want to watch it, the debate spiraled into every familiar moon landing conspiracy. Claims that Apollo footage was faked, claims of murdered whistleblowers, claims that even the moon rocks are fake.
Apollo was all faked.
According to Bart, yes, it was all faked. It was a big propaganda campaign during the Cold War.
And so we had 260-something pounds of moon rocks that were brought back. They're all faked?
I guess Bart hasn't seen them, hasn't analyzed them.
Yeah, you remembered word for word a telephone conversation we had 20 years ago, and at the beginning, not recorded, and somehow you can't remember what we said a half an hour ago, that the moon rocks are fake. We showed an article. Von Braun picked up hundreds of pounds in Antarctica right before the Apollo mission, and according to a contractor, they can manufacture them. Go to clip D20.
Just let me make it. Yeah, I was in delusion for 2 weeks. I was on the moon for 3 days.
Well, you said you have top secret
wait,
clearance.
Just a minute. And I picked up 200, I think we picked up a couple of 100 pounds of moon rocks. Mm-hmm. And we brought them back. They've been analyzed. They're moon rocks. And so I don't understand the purpose of this discussion. Why are we going back and saying Apollo was a fake?
Why does an Apollo astronaut have top secret clearance?
I didn't have top secret clearance.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that. Clip D.
I mean, we had nothing in Apollo that was classified. But I did have a clearance from my military time when I was before NASA, and I did have a top secret clearance then.
Okay.
Okay.
Clip D20 is a modern-day shuttle astronaut saying the farthest they can go is Earth orbit, and they hope to eventually go to the moon.
Before we get back into the video, I want to thank today's sponsor, Delete Me. Have you ever Googled yourself and thought, oh cool, my entire life is on the internet and I didn't put it there? Yeah, same. Every time you sign up for something, buy something, or even just exist online, your info gets scraped and sold to these sketchy data broker sites. We're talking your name, address, phone number, relatives, and sometimes even your age and income range, all in one place for anyone willing to pay a few bucks. That's not just kind of creepy, it's actually a safety issue. Harassment, doxing, stalking, identity theft. A lot of that starts with those databases that should not be public. That's why I use Delete Me. Think of them like a digital cleanup crew for your personal info. You sign up, they find your data on these people search and data broker sites, and then they actually contact those sites to get your info removed. And you don't have to send angry emails or fill out 30 different forms. Delete Me does the removal requests for you, and then they keep checking back because those sites love to relist you. You get easy to read reports like this one, showing where your info was, what they removed, and where they're still working. As someone who lives a lot of my life online, this honestly gives me so much peace of mind. I can't control every screenshot or every comment, but I can control whether my home address is sitting on 5 random search sites. Delete Me is sponsoring today's video, and you can get 20% off all US consumer plans using my link below. Join deleteme.com/ellieinspace. Use code ellieinspace at checkout. Huge thanks to Delete Me for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to space. Claims that the Van Allen belts are unsurvivable. Claims the technology was destroyed to hide a hoax. Claims that NASA today can't repeat Apollo because it was all fake. And Charlie, sweet, patient Charlie, sits there calmly explaining the Saturn V engines, orbital trajectories, fuel staging, moon geology, radiation exposure, things he's literally lived through. But Bart doesn't want answers, he wants gotchas. He wants to win a debate Charlie never really agreed to be a part of. So it was painful to watch. I mean, there are moments where Charlie looks confused, moments where he tries to redirect, and moments where he just politely laughs because he doesn't even realize he's being attacked. So this video bothered me on a deeper level because I actually know Charlie Duke, not in a superficial, I met him once at a conference type of way, but in February of 2024, I actually had the incredible privilege of flying on a 0G flight with him. He did not puke, I did puke, but not only did I get to fly in lunar gravity with him, I got to interview him after the fact. And I even asked him, what would you say to the moon landing deniers? But I didn't set him up in this kind of way that Danny did. So instead of ending this video on a bitter note, I want to end it on a positive one. I want to show you how to properly interview one of the last surviving Apollo astronauts. And someone who was not new to the sensation of lunar gravity is Apollo moonwalker Charlie Duke. All right, so I'm a newbie. You're a veteran. How was it today?
Well, it's my 4th time on this CRG airplane, and it was fun. We had a good time. No broken bones or anything like that. Everybody have a good time just spinning around.
There was some puke. I did throw up.
Oh, you
more
did?
than once.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I'm wondering, do you feel sick at all, or?
No, not on these flights. I don't. But when
Really?
I got back, on Apollo 16, when I got into space after launch and we shut down, the other 2 guys just unstrapped and pitched right out, and they started doing their. And I said, man, I don't feel too good. I don't think I ought to move my head around too much. Fortunately, my job was just sitting there copying stuff from Houston.
Okay,
and
interesting.
And I felt unusual for about an hour. Then it went away, and I never had any more problems. So.
Well, a lot of people know this about you. You've walked on the moon. No big deal. How was the lunar gravity today on the 0G?
It was close. Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah. And you could still even in 1/6 gravity, if you jump too far, you get way off the
Yes.
ground. You don't want to bounce. Yeah, I bounced on the moon with my stuff thrown in there. I lost my balance and I went over backwards, which is really scary.
Really?
Well, that's your
Yeah.
life support system back there on your back.
Yeah.
If it breaks, you're dead. So, fortunately, I made the right decision and rolled right and broke my fall, and I was okay.
Wow. And so that's just still crazy that you've walked on the moon. Like, I can't believe I'm talking to someone who's done that.
Well, there's only 4 of us
I was
left
gonna
alive.
say, well, there's only 4 left, but still not even many people that have done that. Period.
12 of us total.
So we just had the IM-1 Intuitive Machines lunar lander success. What is that? Are you excited about that?
I am excited about it. I think it's about time we get back to the moon. And,
Yeah.
They've been working on, it started out Artemis, and we've been working on that for a long time. And so I'll be really delighted. Hope I'm still alive when we have the space station beginning to be built up on the moon. I think it's time for a return to the moon.
Why do you think it's taken so long?
Money. NASA spent all the money on space shuttle,
Yeah.
and they made a decision. We learned a lot about the moon, but we want to explore Earth orbit more. And we're going to use the space shuttle to put up telescopes and other experiments. And so it was a transportation system in and out of orbit that turned out not as cheap as they thought. And then finally, they wanted to build space stations. So all the money went to near Earth orbit. But now I see us, NASA focusing on deep space like Artemis and maybe onto the Mars. And the SpaceX and others like that taking over more of the commercial side of space.
Would you go to Mars?
No, I wouldn't.
Even when you were young, you wouldn't have gone to Mars?
Oh, well, yeah, I would have, I think, but I didn't want a one-way trip.
Yeah, right. And you kind of are signing up for that. You have
But
to
it's
expect
really,
that.
it's a long way, and it's a dangerous mission. It's you got to have a spacecraft that's really reliable, because once you leave Earth orbit and you're on your way to Mars, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You can't call Houston and say, Houston, send up another widget because this one broke.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Right.
You're on your own. So
Did you feel like going to the moon was a dangerous mission too?
no.
Really?
Well, we were so successful. We landed Apollo 11 with seconds of fuel remaining, and we overcame the explosion from Apollo 13, and it was just really a series of missions that I call Mission Control had a great help, and they were the heroes of Apollo because they fixed a lot of stuff that got us back. We had a major problem on Apollo 16 that almost prevented our landing on the moon, but they came up with a solution. And so it was, so Apollo was just really, really successful. We had a lot of confidence. We were 3 days away. We had instant communications. And so if something went wrong, we thought we would be okay and they would get us out of it. I didn't have never had a doubt that I was going to get back. I did have a doubt that I was not going to land, and that was going to be very disappointing.
Right.
Training 2 years and then not getting to land.
Right.
But it all worked out.
Wow. What do you miss the most about space?
I think the adventure. Even up on the moon, you've been there 3 days, and you wonder what's over the next ridge.
Right.
What are you going to see next?
Right.
So it's the adventure of being there. Man, I'm on the moon. You never got over that feeling. Yeah.
Crazy. What do you say to all the people that say it's fake?
The evidence is overwhelming. You have just not. First off, I ask them, why don't you believe it? And they can't come up with, I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, if they look at the data, they look at the photographs, if they look at all of the records, it's overwhelming evidence that we went to the moon. And there were 400,000 people working on Apollo, and for 50 years, nobody's
Right, spilled the beans.
spilled the beans.
That'd be a big secret to keep.
Yeah, really, really.
And this podcast even garnered everyday astronauts' attention, saying, "Disgusting to invite a 90-year-old retired Apollo astronaut to your show and bombard him with questions for 4 hours. If you want someone to answer these questions, bring me on, cowards." But then he backtracked a little bit, saying, "I'll have to watch the entire episode. I may have jumped to pitchforks before hearing the entire thing, which I should do. Danny Jones has been very respectful in communication, and we're working to have a follow-up episode." So it sounds like that might be something in the works, and I'm sure you guys would be interested in watching that. So thanks so much for watching this video, but what do you guys think in the comments about this? I've also heard in the past, and I do not have this completely verified, but I've heard that Charlie does charge for interviews. So, perhaps he was paid for this, but I still think to not really give him complete transparency with what he was about to sit through for 4 hours is kind of messed up. So thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any in the future.